Hi guys, it's Natasha, and today we're talking about a very fun topic.
Anxiety.
I'm kidding, that's not a really fun topic, but I'm going to be talking about my experiences with anxiety, which I've been struggling with for over a decade. If I'm going to be completely honest, it didn't really hit me until last year that I have some work to do in regards to my anxiety and that I didn't have it as in control as I thought I did, thanks 2020. So hopefully my story and my experiences will help you and will make you feel a little less alone in your journey of self-love, and especially if you've dealing with anxiety for a while. So let's begin. Where do I even start? I have been suffering from anxiety and panic attacks ever since I can remember. It started when I was a teenager. It also started to happen while I was depressed as a teen. And I never really knew what panic attacks were. I just thought they were me being anxious or worried or stressed because I've always been very stressed. And so I always thought it was just a thing that people felt whenever they felt anxious or stressed. And it wasn't until I started, learning more about anxiety and panic attacks that I realized,
Oh,
I guess that's what that thing that I get every so often is called a panic attack. So my anxious thoughts have always either stemmed from two things. One, losing control of something, or my perception that I was in control of something, because newsflash, we can't, there's very little we can actually control in our lives, and 2020 showed me that. And two, intrusive existential thoughts. And I don't know how to explain this other than just thoughts that pass through my head that just remind me of how fleeting life can be. So, seeing my parents and thinking they won't be here one day, and how am I going to feel? Like, how am I going to survive? Like, how will that destroy me the day that that happens? I can see an old man walking by himself on the street and automatically just start thinking, like, is he alone? Did his partner pass? Does his family visit him? I can look at Ben, my boyfriend, and think, like, I wonder if we'll be together forever. How would I feel if I were to ever lose him? Or I even get sad just thinking about it. Oh, here we go. I always cry on my self love videos. Like, it's expected at this point. Or even like I can be watching a sunset. I love watching the sunset because it's always different and it's always beautiful to me. And I'll be enjoying the sunset, and then my mind's like, one day you won't be able to see these anymore. As in, one day I'm going to be dead and I won't be able to see the sunset. And then I get sad because it reminds me of how fleeting things can be and how I can't control how things play out. So even that always just ties in to control, like loss of control. I would get maybe one or two panic attacks a year, maybe three or four anxiety attacks max, some years less than that. So I'm like,
I'm good. I've got this all figured out. I've got this under control.
and then 2020 happened. And 2020 told me, nah, you do not have this under control. I can't even tell you how many panic attacks I had last year because I stopped counting, but it was definitely more than 6. And there was one day where I had 2 panic attacks in a span of 24 hours. And that was one of the most exhausting experiences I've ever had. Because if you've had panic attacks before, I don't know if you've felt this way too. Let me know in the comments. Whenever I'm done having a panic attack, it just drains all of my energy. Like I feel defeated. And then that can last not only a few hours after I've had a panic attack, but days after. And then for me, sometimes I've gotten like a delayed stress response, and maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks even after I had an anxiety attack or a panic attack, I would start getting crazy symptoms like chest pains or, aches in my muscles, like in my shoulder, in my back, in my neck, stomach issues. Like there was a period last year where anything I ate would just give me sharp pains in my stomach. And that lasted for about 2 weeks. And I was convinced, I'm like,
I have like an ulcer or something. It has to be.
like, why am I getting sharp pains in my stomach? And then I did tests, I saw a doctor, and everything was fine. And then it hit me, I had an anxiety attack and a panic attack that followed a couple of weeks before these stomach issues started happening. And then it clicked, and I'm like, this is probably a delayed response in my body to the anxiety and panic attack that I had. And then it just cleared itself out within, 2 weeks, and then my stomach was fine. And that just goes to show how much anxiety affects your body. Not only, mentally, it's draining, but it also affects you physically. Going back to 2020, that was when I finally realized I do not have this ish under control. Because if I did, I wouldn't be having more than 6 panic attacks in 1 year. And I realized after reading Untamed by Glennon Doyle, I talked about this book in my 2020 favorites because it was my favorite nonfiction that I read last year. And I had a breakthrough moment as I read it. She has a chapter in there called Aches, where she discusses like this feeling, this ache that she would get that reminded her that life ends, that things are temporary, that not anything is permanent, and how that feeling, that ache, those thoughts that she would get made her run away from so many things in her life. And I just bawled reading that chapter because that was my anxiety in a nutshell. So I did want to share the passage that resonated with me the most, and let me know what you guys think. I don't know if you've read it before. Let me know if you enjoyed Untamed as much as I did, because I really loved that book. I entered this ache alone, but inside it I have found everyone. In surrendering to the ache of loneliness, I have discovered unloneliness. Right here inside the ache, with everyone who has ever welcomed a child, or held the hand of a dying grandmother, or said goodbye to a great love. I am here with all of them. Inside the ache is the we. We can do hard things, like be alive and love deep and lose it all, because we do these hard things alongside everyone who has ever walked the earth, with her eyes, arms, and heart wide open. The ache is not a flaw. The ache is our meeting place. It's the clubhouse of the brave. All the lovers are there. It is where you go alone to meet the world. The ache is love. The ache was never warning me, this ends. so leave. She was saying, this ends, so stay. And I get teary. I get teary out here. I was like,
I'm not gonna cry in this one.
nope, I did. But it's so beautiful because that was always my anxiety in a nutshell, is how things are so temporary and what am I gonna do, and always looking to the future. It's true. It's so true, because whenever I've had my anxiety attacks, I'm not present, because I can't even tell you what I did those days, because I was on autopilot. I was so stuck inside my head that I rob myself of being present with my family, present with Ben, my boyfriend, with my friends. I don't reach out to anyone. It's like I just disappear from the face of the earth for several days at a time when I'm stuck in my anxiety attacks. And that's not good. That's not good for me. That's not good for my relationships. And I don't want to rob myself from being present with the people I love, because that's the thing, like going back to Untamed, life is temporary. Things are temporary. So I realized I was robbing myself of being present in my life with my anxiety. And last year showed me, it punched me in the face, and it was like, if you don't get this under control, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on beautiful moments. You're going to keep disconnecting from people. And I realized, like, it was up to me to make a decision to get help and swallow my pride and realize I don't have this all figured out quite yet. And anxiety is just like life, it's a work in progress. Some days are going to be hard. Some days are going to be easier, but I just have to learn to be kinder to myself when I'm in that headspace. So out of the stress of last year, out of the record amount of panic attacks that I had, I will say that the one beautiful thing that came from it was that realization that I need to reach out for help. And that's okay, because maybe reaching out for help will help me find better ways to combat my anxiety. So what did I do? I'm seeing a therapist. And on top of seeing a therapist, I also signed on to have a life coach. And that's not something that everybody can afford to do, especially both at once. And trust me, I'm thankful that I have money saved that I can use towards this, because I was like, I need to prioritize my mental health and my happiness first. So I'm going to cut back on whatever I need to cut back on that isn't necessary, like buying cute new clothes, even though I love cute new clothes, so that I can spend money on therapy and on coaching. And just from 2 sessions of therapy and 1 introductory coaching section, I've already learned so much about myself. So if you get thoughts like these, if you ever feel anxiety, I hope this video at least helps you feel a little less alone. There's a lot of other people out there who are going through the exact same thing, or who have walked in your shoes before. So if anything, I hope you find a little bit of comfort in that, and just realizing it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to open up to others and say, like, hey, I've been struggling. Because sometimes just making that one step is the one step that we need to break through. So I cried again. What can I say, guys? I'm not going to apologize, because that's just who I am. But I really hope this video resonated with you. Let me know in the comments below if you've been dealing with anxiety or what's helped you through your most anxious moments. You can always reach out to me as well on my Instagram. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I put out self-love videos every other week. And on the weeks that I'm not posting about self-love, I post about fashion. I don't know why I'm doing that. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Love you.